Hey. I want to welcome everybody to a mock draft special. The Midday with Miz, mock 1.0, and the only mock by the Miz. 2022 NFL Draft, Christmas in April for every one of us. Good afternoon, we're 1 week away from the NFL Draft, and the Miz is going to bring you the best mock he possibly can, and as real as I can. No biasness. I will not favor anybody. I'm going to give it exactly where I think players match with what teams they should go to. And our New York Football Giants have 2 monster golden picks in the top 10. Along with the other team in New York, the New York Jets. That's 4 picks in the top 10. This is what it's about. We should wait no longer. Let's get to this right here. This draft should be a special night. I'm going to get together my notes here as I put together the best mock possible. You know, hit the music for the Miz. Let's go. And with the first pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock. And they've been on the clock all off season, right? The Jacksonville Jaguars are putting together an O-line for their QB Lawrence. They let down last year as he got destroyed and beat up behind one of the worst O-lines in the league. They re-signed their tackle. They've gone out and added a couple of guys to this team. And here we go. The Jacksonville Jaguars with the first pick in the draft out of South Carolina, monster tackle, Ike Ekwonu. Ike Ekwonu is a big man, physical, imposing beast. Can play guard, can play tackle. The guy will knock you on your ass and maybe even put you through the grass. This guy's a big-time hitter. Some people believe he's the best in this draft. Right? We know he's in the top 3. And I think he's going to bring a lot to the Jaguars line. And tonight, Trevor Lawrence will be smiling, as the Jaguars have really built a wall in front of him. Something this QB needed. You know his potential. Lawrence can be great. They did not have what he needed last year. The man couldn't step up in the pocket. He was running for his life, and he took a beat down. Well, Ekwonu was a monster piece to the puzzle to changing that. And that's the first pick in the draft. Pick number 2, the Detroit Lions are on the clock. At number 2, the Detroit Lions walk up to the podium and they have the card in their hand. Let's see what goes as everybody sits at the edge of their seat. Something special about draft night. You don't want to be in the top every year, man, but hey, circumstances lead you there. All right. Let's lower this down here. Lower the music with the second pick in the 2022 draft. The Detroit Lions, hometown kid out of Michigan, Aiden Hutchinson, a beast edge rusher off the edge, arguably the best in the country. The man is vicious, he's physical, reminds some people of the Bosa brothers in ways. He's strong, he's powerful, and he has one hell of a bull rush, and there's no tricks about it. The man will put pressure on quarterbacks all season long. He's very strong. He's very powerful. And the number one thing he's known for is his heart. The man doesn't quit. The man doesn't stop. And the man doesn't take plays off. He treats every play like it's his last. And you want a guy like that. A man who's knows he's great, but acts like he's not great by the way he brings his energy and the best he can on every single pass rush. Dude, the Lions are getting themselves a beast of an edge rusher, and it's a hometown kid, so you're getting 2 for 1, man, and it always sits well with the city and the fans. Detroit's getting a pass rusher out of Michigan, Aiden Hutchinson. The Houston Texans at number 3 are on the clock. We're going to move it forward a little. Here we go. Right? At number 3, the Houston Texans. Out of Georgia, Kayvon Walker. A man that has climbed the ranks real fast in the last few months. Some people aren't believers, or other people think this guy is so athletic and so physical. His frame is so imposing. You could turn him into a pure edge rusher. Okay? He could play in the middle of the D-line. He could come off the edge. He could back up and play a little linebacker. You got yourself a man that can play different positions. This guy is a pure athlete and might be the best athlete in this draft. Maybe. Some believe so. A guy that I think with a little work and development, 2-3 years down the line, could be the best player that come out of this draft, arguably. Kayvon Walker is a beast. All right? And the Texans head coach is into defense, right? Lovie Smith. And he's going to go get himself a beast and turn him into whatever he wants to turn him into. And I believe you could put this kid on the edge and let him become a pure monster edge rusher. But you could always stunt him back through the middle in the defensive tackle area. He also could be a stand-up guy off the edge. Hey, it's all up to what teams you go to and how that organization and coaching staff develops you. System and development. Walker, number 3, the Texans. Number 4, the New York Jets are on the clock. Hey. And we're going to set it back for the Jets. Saleh, a brand new coach. The Jets are building something. Whether people like it or not. Those New York Jets, those old Jets are not the old Jets anymore. There's something forming. It's coming together. It's like the clouds gathering for a storm. The football Jets are building it. And it's all going to ride on their young QB Wilson. We know that. But at number 4, the New York Jets have an opportunity to grab somebody that their history has not ever really allowed them to have. And that's what I call the lion of this draft. The lion of this draft out of Oregon, number 5, Kayvon Thibodeaux to the New York Football Jets and head coach Saleh. The guy's a monster. The guy's a beast. I don't care if people want to make up character concerns because I don't see it. When you got yourself a beast, an alpha lion standing in front of you, you go get him and you believe that a football player will be a football player on a top level. This kid's an elite pass rusher, okay? These guys don't come around every single year. He's one of those types. This guy's a beast. 2 years ago, he was supposed to go number 1. And I think people that pass on him are out of their mind. And me personally, I label this guy along with one other player, Evan Neal, in this draft as the 2 best players in this draft. And the New York Football Jets just got one of them. Kayvon Thibodeaux off the edge, a lion, to be the face of a franchise and the leader of the Jets. At number 4, Kayvon Thibodeaux. At number 5, the New York Football Giants are on the clock. And a fan base that's licking its chops, want to get back to winning football, want to get back to big blue Giants football, and I'm one of them. I'm trying to stay partial in this draft, but on that night I will be off the walls. And everyone knows what the New York Giants are looking for under new GM Joe Shane and head coach Dabo. A new regime. Seems like a regime that has confidence, competence, educated. A football program will be built here finally. And the fan base is excited. And you know what? We've gotten some pieces in the last year or so, but it really, really starts right here now. At number 5, the New York Giants walk up to the podium and fill a monster need. And here's the other player that I label a lion, a bear of a player on the other side of the line. One of the top players in this draft. Some people label him one of the best tackles to come out of college in years. Out of Alabama, the one and only Evan Neal to the New York Giants at 5. The New York Giants get themselves a landmark, a staple piece, a beast to put on the other side from the other beast, Andrew Thomas. You got both sides of the line that are going to be locked down. There's no more excuses. Let's find out what Daniel Jones, this franchise quarterback, can do. You're setting the line of scrimmage and the wall for your superstar running back, Barkley. Something we've been waiting for. If you got a healthy Barkley and you got a healthy Jones and you got the receivers Tony and Galladay, you're going to go out and get a tight end somewhere in this draft, and the New York Giants have themselves a real football offense, and it all starts at the line of scrimmage. Football's won in the trenches. The Giants have lost their ways, but it's time to get back to it, and here's a monster from Alabama, Evan Neal, to the New York Football Giants. At number 6, the Carolina Panthers walk up to the podium, and the Carolina Panthers take quarterback Kenny Pickett from Pitt. A quarterback, a man that can be built into a franchise quarterback if he's in the right program and built the right way. He's in an area where he will not be pressured by media. It's a low-key fan base, but a good football fan base. They will give this guy the time he needs. The Carolina Panthers have taken shots with some quarterbacks the last few years. They gave up picks for Sam Darnold. They had Cam Newton. They brought him back. Things have not worked out with these guys. Go out and draft yourself your own quarterback and let him build up with a young team together over a span of 2, 3, 4 years. Like I said, Carolina's not a pressured place, so he might have the extra year or two. So maybe 4 years for the kid to become the real deal. Carolina gets themselves a franchise quarterback, and the first quarterback to come off the board in the 22 draft, Kenny Pickett. Number 7. It's your New York Football Giants. Hey. The New York Giants walk up to the podium for the second time in the last 20 minutes. A pick that was rightfully theirs from a trade last year with the Chicago Bears has turned out to be a high and very extremely valuable pick at number 7, the New York Giants. There's many ways they could go, and there's many ways you fans are probably pulling. But I gotta go with what I believe. We're gonna be in need with this position because we are gonna be moving a kid that's been here for 2 years. And this new regime under the defensive coach Wink, he specializes at this position. And at number 7, the New York Giants are lucky enough for this kid to still be on the board. It's not the position I usually go with, but I'm going to go with what I feel they want right here. And out of Cincinnati, the number 1 cornerback in the nation, a lockdown corner that some people are calling the best corner to come out of college since Darrelle Revis. Yes. Don't know if he is Darrelle Revis. That was a special, special player. But they're saying he's as talented as any corner that's come out in years. Sauce Gardner, Cincinnati, lockdown corner. This kid's an athlete. The body is amazing. The way he shakes and turns those hips, the way he could run sideways and backwards, the speed he brings, the ability and the talent, the know-how of where a receiver is moving to. This kid locked down corners through college. You can't deny it. You know, he's right there at the top. You got Stingley right somewhere around him also. You can't go wrong with either. But this kid's been healthy. The New York Giants get themselves another franchise piece, a franchise corner to build this future's defense around. Hey. Gone 5, Evan Neal. You go 7, Sauce. You can't be upset. The New York Giants are set. Here comes number 8 to the podium. The clock is rolling. The Atlanta Falcons are walking up. And the Atlanta Falcons simply time to look for the future and get a quarterback in here. And I'm going to have the Atlanta Falcons taking yours truly, the fans' favorite, out of Liberty, Willis. Quarterback Willis out of Liberty brings an athletic ability, a beast of a deep arm. Okay? Seems to be extremely accurate down the field. He's going to have to work on his footwork and his mechanics. You know, the 3-step drop, to step into his throws. I see things he's going to work on, but these things can be easily fixed. I'm pretty sure they're not going to rush him right out to the field. You have a chance where he could sit for a few weeks. Whatever it is, you have a chance that you might have a special franchise quarterback with an amazing athletic ability in your hands. Bring him down to the ATL, the Atlanta Falcons, the Dirty Bird. Let this man lead the Falcons back. It's been a long time, and it's time to turn the page. Matt Ryan gave them great years. Stand up. Amazing player, a quarterback, a leader. Okay? Someone that they felt respectable with. But it's time to turn the page and get yourself a young kid. And here comes Willis to the ATL. At number 9, the Seattle Seahawks are walking up to the podium. Hey. Let's get it. Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks need a nice piece on the line of scrimmage. And there just so happens to be a really athletic tackle. Some believe could be all around one of the best tackles in the draft. He's amazing at pass blocking. Charles Cross, the Seattle Seahawks at number 9. Simple. Solidify that offensive line and start building again, because the Seahawks are on a little bit of a rebuild as they lost their quarterback, Russell Wilson, and that's okay. You start with a staple piece on the line, and there it is. Number 10, the New York Jets. Jets. The Jets are walking up to the podium for the second time in 10 picks. The 4th pick by New York City in the top 10. 2 young teams on the rise, and they're building, and they have an opportunity on this night to have one of the most special nights to turn the road around and head north. Both teams in New York. And at number 10, the New York Jets walk up to the podium. Wide receiver, Alabama, Jameson. This kid's athletically inclined. He's a beast. The man has route speed. He suffered an injury, so some people were worried about that, but he's a young kid, and he's healed, and he's healthy, and the New York Jets need that number 1 receiver. Okay? And you add this kid to the weapons that the Jets already have. And you give this young kid Wilson a hell of a receiving crew. I mean, I'm talking about a hell of a receiving crew. Right? And people forget that behind all their weapons, they still have a receiver, Mims, who I believe can be a real good wide receiver. And if the Jets can't turn him into something, they could turn that into a draft pick somewhere. So the New York Jets are building a young team. They're surrounding Wilson with the right weapons. And right here, they get themselves arguably the best wide receiver in this draft out of the best football program in the country, or top two, Bama and Georgia, whatever way you want to look at it. Alabama tied, baby. When you come out of there, you're NFL ready, and you're not NFL ready to just fill in a spot. You're NFL ready to be great. And the Jets tonight have got themselves two monsters in football. Something they haven't had in years, maybe decades. You got yourself a monster off the edge. To me, the best edge rusher in this year's draft. An elite guy, a guy I call a lion, and Kayvon Thibodeaux. And now you got yourself an atomic weapon downfield for your young quarterback out of Alabama, Jameson. And the Jets are on their way, and they got 2 more picks in the second round. Hey, that Jet fan base right now is excited. And dare they think 9 wins this year and maybe a wild card. But it's about building, and that GM Douglas is doing a fine job over there. And the fact that the Jets are showing patience lately is something new. And I think they will fare well for their future. At number 11, the Washington, what do you call them today? I don't know. They have a new name every week. I think it's the Commanders. Hey, you know what? I'm sorry. Sue me. I'm old school, and to me, the Washington are still the Redskins. But you want to go football team, go ahead. Commanders football team. Hey, the Washington team out of D.C. At number 11. Walk up to the podium. USC wide receiver Drake London. A monster target, a big frame, a tall guy. I believe he's 6'6", 6'7". You're getting yourself a big time. Dude, you're getting yourself a presence down the field. Tall, long arms. Some people compare him to Evans in Tampa. Some other people said he has arms and the height of a Plaxico Burress back in the day. I'm not going to call him Plaxico Burress because Plaxico Burress was rare. He was physical. He was a beast. He was a big-time threat down the field, and his blocking skills were amazing. This kid's got to show me that. But you're getting yourself a weapon, Washington. They're getting themselves a down-the-field tall target, and definitely a major factor to worry about in the red zone. Okay? London, wide receiver, Washington. At number 12, the Vikings, and I'm going to start speeding it up. The Vikings cornerback, LSU, Derek Stingley for the Minnesota Vikings. He's the perfect fit for the Vikings. You go to the Dome, nice quiet place, a real football town. It gets real loud in there. And this kid out of LSU, he's ready for that. They get themselves what could be a star cornerback. Derek Stingley out of LSU. This kid's NFL ready. I know he suffered an injury. People were worried about his injuries. I think he's ready, and he showed it at, I think, his pro day, man, that his speed is just off the charts. Hey, Minnesota gets themselves a franchise cornerback. At number 13, the Texans roll up to the podium, and I got them taking a safety out of Notre Dame, and what people believe is one of the best athletes in this draft. This kid's truly talented. Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame to the Houston Texans, and I'm sure they're going to be able to do a lot with this kid. He's going to hold down that deep field. He can crawl up into the box. He's a hitter. He's a tackler. And he's tall, which means he's going to be able to get his arms up and block some balls on those post routes. Hey, that's another good player for the Texans, right? So at 3, they got Walker. Now they got Hamilton. The Texans are putting together a defense. 2 fine athletes. Hey, Number 14, the Baltimore Ravens. And they got a lot of players coming back this year. And I got to believe the Baltimore Ravens are going to be a Super Bowl contender. That's a beast team behind a big-time coach. They lost a lot of players last year, and they still competed all year long. And they're going to get a lot of players back this year. And another year under Lamar Jackson's belt. And the Baltimore Ravens right here, I got them picking up a special kid. Someone who to me is special, and I would have loved to have for the Giants. At 14, the Baltimore Ravens get center out of Iowa. Tyler Lindenbaum, the beast out of Iowa. A lot of people like this kid. Some people were worried about his arms. You got nothing to worry about. This guy's a monster, man. He can block in the run game, exactly what the Ravens like to do. You talk about the most perfect center for the Baltimore Ravens offensive program. Does anyone run the ball like the Ravens? If they're not running sweeps with their running backs or faking the run up the middle, Lamar Jackson's taking the ball and running it himself. They got so many different type of runs, and you got the perfect center, the best run blocking center in the nation. The way he blocks up the middle, the way he pulls left and right and blocks to the outside in the run game. This kid's a human bulldozer and fits the Baltimore Ravens like the perfect sneaker on a foot. And they're getting themselves a beast, and they're getting him at 14. At 15, the Philadelphia Eagles, an NFC-hated rival. But the Philadelphia Eagles are building themselves a young team, and I got to give them a little credit for that. I think I'd give the Eagles someone that no one really picking the Eagles to take. Right? At 15, and he's still on the board, and it's shocking. The Philadelphia Eagles get themselves a beast off the edge, long, athletic animal with a motor that doesn't stop. And that's why people love him. They think his motor's ridiculous, and he has heart. And he reminds me a little bit of a young JPP. And you know what? Jermaine Johnson for the Philadelphia Eagles as an edge rusher. And that's a hell of a fine at 15 because he shouldn't be anywhere near 15. To me, he's valued in the top 10. At 16, the New Orleans Saints are walking up to the podium. I believe this was via a trade with the Eagles. The Saints could go many ways, man, because I think they have to build sort of rebuild the team. Not totally rebuild, but, they got parts they have to build up again. It's going to take a while. They've had a real long, nice run of playoffs each year. Well, the Saints, out of Central Michigan, they go offensive line, Bernard Raymond. Bernard Raymond's a feisty, physical offensive lineman, and the Saints can use a big piece. Anyone could always use a big piece on the O-line. I think this kid could walk in and start day one. I mean, he better. And I think it's a very good pick at 16 for the Saints. At 17, the LA Chargers, who are stacked up and built. That team's going to fight for the AFC West. They're going to be right there at the top. Their QB is a young monster on the rise. People already consider him top 5. And you know what? Herbert and the Chargers brought in Mack, I believe, and their defense is ready to go. The Chargers are a factor. Watch out. And I'm going to give the Chargers a monster to add to that defense and only make them a D-line that nobody wants to see on Sunday. At 17, the Chargers take out of Georgia monster Jordan Davis, defensive tackle. Jordan Davis is a beast. He's fast. He's athletic. He's a monster. And I believe it's not going to be one offensive lineman alone that can block this guy. You're going to have to put 2 bodies on him. And at 2 bodies, you're still not blocking him. You might be lucky just to stand him straight up. Hey, I believe this kid's a beast. I believe you ain't running the ball up the middle no more when this guy's there. And the Chargers got the animals on the outsides with Mack and Bosa. So good luck against the Chargers D-line. You could argue it might be the best in football. Jordan Davis, LA Chargers. Number 18, the Philadelphia Eagles, I believe, come up again. And right here at 18, real quick, the Eagles are going to get themselves a weapon. We all know they want the wide receiver. And out of Ohio State, Garrett Wilson to the Philadelphia Eagles to add to their offense. Give Hurts another weapon. Real good wide receiver. At 19, I'm trying to rush through this, and I'm only going to go to 22, guys. I'm not doing the entire first round. Giving you my best. Hey, I'm not usually the mock guy, right? The Miz is usually the guy that goes deep into football stuff, but I'm doing it for you guys today, and I'm enjoying it. But we're rolling up on 30 minutes, and I'm going to rush right through this right here. So right here we go at number 19, the Saints defensive tackle, Devontae Wyatt. Some people believe he's the best defensive tackle in the draft. He's right there with Jordan Davis. They're both beasts. This kid's so athletic, and he's a tackle machine. And I believe the Saints get themselves a nice defensive tackle here. So now the Saints, once again, wisely, have gone two big pieces on each side of the line. At 20, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we're going to roll it back for the Steelers. Let's go. The Pittsburgh Steelers. One of the most respected organizations in football. They know how to do it. They always knew how to do it. They always will. Ran by one monster of a coach that I respect right at the top of the league in Tomlin and this Steelers organization. You know, I'm a Giant fan, but I got love for them because the Steelers are all about football, man. The Rooneys. The least amount of head coaches in football, man. Talk about stability. This team, when you look up the dictionary stability, right next to it, it should say Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Pittsburgh Steelers had Ben Roethlisberger forever, a dinosaur, a classy, historic quarterback, a Hall of Famer. And it's time to move on. And I think at 19, the Pittsburgh, at 20, in this draft of 2022, the Pittsburgh Steelers go get themselves a quarterback. And a kid that I believe has all the goods to be really good, just needs the time. And like we said, in a franchise where they develop, and the Steelers, damn, they know how to develop, right? And the Pittsburgh Steelers draft quarterback out of North Carolina, a kid that I'm high on, and a lot of people I spoke to are high on. A man that was so good 2 years ago. He's projected to be number one in this draft, and he lost players, and things happened. A lot of things that went against him. He lost a lot of key players, so the year was inconsistent. But hey, he's got a big-time arm. He is deadly accurate. He can move. He knows how to roll out the pocket, and he knows how to command the pocket. Sam Howell, North Carolina, Pittsburgh Steelers. Hey, 2 more picks to the 22 draft for me. It's been great. I've had a lot of fun. Sorry if it's a little old school. I don't throw in the highlights. I like to just be pure and old school. That's who I am. At 21, the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots. And that old GOAT Bill Belichick. He's still there. He's still there in his old cut-up hoodie from 1992. Hey. And I love Bill Belichick because he's played a huge role in the Giants' history as he's led our top-ranked defense those years to 2 Super Bowls. Will always be linked to Lawrence Taylor and Carl Banks and some of those guys. Hey, but he's gone and won so many rings with the Patriots. And now he's stuck around when he didn't have to. Brady left and he didn't have to stay. He could have been out. He could retire. He could go somewhere else. But he stays around because he's loyal and he rebuilds the Patriots. And you know what? At 21, Bill Belichick goes and gets himself what some people consider one of the top edge rushers in this draft. Out of Purdue, George Karlaftis. Out of Purdue. And Karlaftis is a real good, smart edge rusher. And I believe under a guy like Belichick, who's a total defensive scheme artist, maybe the best ever, will take this kid from what he is and groom him up a couple of notches. So it's the perfect place for this kid who I feel needs a little work, and he's under the perfect coach to get that. He's going to learn a lot. He's going to add a lot of tools to his game, and this kid's going to be a strong piece off the edge for the New England Patriots. I think it's the perfect fit. And at 22, and my final pick for me in this 2022 draft, and I know there's other picks after them, but I'm going to stop right here. This is, I give you my best. The final pick in the 2022 draft, Aaron Rodgers' Green Bay Packers over at frozen Lambeau Field, the mecca of football. The Green Bay Packers are going to go out and get Rodgers a toy. Something they seem to neglect now and then, but they lost Adams. And they chose to pay Rodgers his money, which is fine because Aaron Rodgers is one of the best. And he still due that one more Super Bowl, and I believe he will get there. He will reward them with a diamond for the money they paid him. I believe he's got one more coming his way before he retires. And they're going to go give him a toy. And at 22, the Green Bay Packers, they draft wide receiver Ohio State, Chris Olave. Chris Olave is going to play with Aaron Rodgers. And he's going to be so excited that night like a kid under the Christmas tree. You're going to a quarterback that takes average wide receivers and can make them great, special. And this kid's going to fit right in with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I believe they don't miss a beat. They lose Adams, and I still don't think they miss a beat. I still think the Packers are at worst an 11-win team. 11-12. The NFC's not strong. The Packers are going to be right there at the top. And Aaron Rodgers is happy tonight. This is the 2022 draft. This is going to be an exciting draft. This was draft mock 1.0 by The Miz. It's the only draft video you're going to get. Join me Thursday night as I have a live NFL special show, a draft show with a round table of a bunch of YouTube content creators. We're going to have the chats, jamming. I want to bring guys in and out. Anybody could call in and join. I'm going to pop guys in and out. I never want more than like 5 at the table at once, maybe 6. I got a bunch of guys coming on. And I love all the guys from the Blue Crew. All our guys. I'm going to have Zion as my co-host. Adam. We're going to get Buko in there to pick his picks for the Jets. We're going to have a bunch of guys. I believe Jeff is going to join us, a diehard Giants fan. Guys, this draft is a monster one for the New York Football Giants. We got to do the right thing. Go get this tackle, one of those top 3 at 5. And then whatever they choose to do after that, this new regime, we will back them up. And I think they've already shown us some confidence and that they have a plan of what they're doing. I expect some moves in this draft. I expect Bradbury's going to be moved, maybe paired up in a trade to move back up. We'll see. There's going to be things happening. But the one thing I know is at 5, we have to get our tackle. And if Evan Neal's there, I think he's one of the best to come out in the last few years. You can't go wrong with Equano. He's also a fine piece. Cross, athletically inclined. He's a real good. We could put him at tackle. We got to do our thing at 5. Don't fall off the road. Get the tackle at 5. Find a way to get the tackle at 5. And you could go do anything you want from 7 on. We'll all sit back and have popcorn and back you up and enjoy. I enjoyed bringing you this mock. I don't do many of these. This is the only one you're going to get. I do it for my people. And I do it for the love of the sport. The 22 NFL draft. Miz in the midday. I'm out.